to get there so I can have everything set up. That's why most of the time you see me sitting at stuff like this.
And again, that's why you're just you look a little strong.
That guy's stoned.
Yeah.
Yeah. By lack of sleep. Yeah.
If you don't watch the videos, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
just look at him. You walk up and okay.
Okay, yeah, he's just...
But then, the more and more I found out about you, I started like, wow, this guy's amazing. And then I did start to look in more, and then I started seeing things. And you actually design your tools to accommodate the person.
Yes.
Not the other way around.
Yes. I don't like making just assembly line items.
Right.
There are a few things that I do because it just makes sense to do it that way. The trainer canes.
Okay.
I make them kind of bulky and so
By
forth.
the way, this is mine because I won it in a raffle. Don't tell Danny we cheated, but it's mine.
All right, everybody, keep the secret.
This is assembly line and all that, but like these guys, I made this for me. So, and everybody who grabs it goes, oh, the finger hole's too big or too small. It's like, no, it works for me. I can use it.
Perfect. Yeah.
I can use it whichever way I want, and it fits me perfect.
Yeah.
It's like when you want yours bigger, I'll make yours bigger.
But I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because if you're ever going to go buy weapons, and they're just cookie cutter, they are never fitting you properly.
No.
You have to find that one that's like, oh, yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the one you really like didn't work, so you had to go and you kind of lower your standards to whatever.
And I've had this before. You see the one that's the bright lights are on and it's glowing. It's like, oh yeah, and you grab it, you pick it up, and it's like, oh
yeah, right, exactly.
And then you look over here at this one, and it kind of has a fly coming off of it, and you pick it up. It's like, man, that feels really good.
Right.
And then you realize, no, it was just shining in a different way. It had that black aura.
Yeah, that one had a fly because it still has dried blood on it.
Yeah. So, funny story about this one, folks. They had a raffle at the end of the event.
Oh, God.
And me, Danny, and Nayin all won, like, at least 2 or 3 things each.
Yeah.
It was like, it's rigged.
Felt bad for everybody else. No, I didn't. I didn't even feel bad.
So this is the best $15 purchase I've ever made.
Yeah, jeez.
We got...
Money well spent.
Nayin got a butt plug.
Well, if that's what you want to use it for, but it's actually called a Uwara stick. If he throws a punch at me, here... And
I wanted him to show you what it's all about.
That thing is sharp.
Here, and boom, here, and boom. Or you can use it to hit
pressure points.
Pressure points. Oh, there's a sharp point.
Yeah, there's a sharp part. Jesus Christ. Go back to the other things.
Okay.
That would suck.
I wanted to play with these things because
terrible.
But-
you're
I
a
can
weapons
work on
maker,
it.
so I wanted
Yeah.
to make sure that we got to play with the weapons.
No, I love weapons. I've been into weapons forever. I was a kid when it was library day at school who would go to historical weapons, and I would read that, and I'd learn all those things. I couldn't quote you one now, but I can still visualize the specs of a Highland broadsword versus an English broadsword.
I want one.
I wish I had the space to make you one.
Spanish
Make me one in
style.
wood.
I have one.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but you have to fight my wife for it.
Oh, shit, never mind.
Really?
She knows half the things you do. I'm in
Good luck.
trouble. That's what I said.
She's better with throwing knives than I am.
Oh, never mind that.
I taught her,
She can find me at a
unfortunately.
distance. I'll never get near.
Yeah.
No, I like to play too. Because like the oar, until I had made it, I told you I'd won about 15, 20.
Oh yeah, you won a lot of competition
doing
Forms.
oar kata, and about 2 or 3 years after I stopped doing it, then box store martial arts supply company started producing oars. But until then, nobody had ever made it. So
Had to make your own.
yeah, I had to make my own. I could have ordered one from Japan, but it would have been about $200 for the oar, and it would have been about $600 for shipping because it was a long item.
All right.
So I was like, no, I'm going to make one.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I
now
like.
you have Amazon.
Yeah, true. But I like to make things that you don't see that often. You're going to have to help me with the pronunciation. The machuado. That
yeah. I couldn't help you.
I'm hoping I pronounced it right. The Aztec War Club.
Dude, we don't even know if historically it was actually used.
Yeah.
But he made one, and if you don't know what it is,
you got to go grab that.
You know what?
Grab it. Just don't.
This thing is crazy, folks. When I saw this, I was like, holy crap, you could crack all kinds of crazy heads with that.
Well, I didn't sharpen the blades too sharp, but they have tested. I used a cousin of obsidian.
Holy shit. This is a gnarly.
This
is a crazy ass tool.
When these guys,
holy crap.
right here,
that's obsidian.
It's actually a cousin of obsidian.
Oh, okay.
To keep the cost down.
Of course. Yeah.
But it still chips just like obsidian. I lacquered it to keep it so that you could do this without slicing yourself.
Look at the artwork here. It's
he carved it too.
Because they've proven that this stone and obsidian, when it's cut at its edge, can actually cut in between the human cells. It doesn't rip them open like steel blades rips open cells. This will cut in between, and I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want it that sharp, so I made sure to
dull it up a
little bit.
Well, you didn't do anything with the keychain because that thing cut me.
The other thing about this, folks, this guy is heavy. If
Yeah.
you're going to swing this at somebody,
there's
a lot
You
of
feel
force.
like a barbarian when you hold this thing. It's like you want to do that speech from.
You look like a barbarian
Conan.
when you hold
Conan.
anything.
Yeah. You take the glasses off when you're golden. Did they have eye contacts in barbarian days?
He needs
Yeah.
he needs a little headpiece.
There you go.
I can't see
Get
it.
back to the chopper. Oh, wait.
Get to the chopper.
But that's a cool weapon. And did you get the specs, or did you just kind of eyeball everything?
I eyeballed it. I took most of the weapons. Like I have a couple Filipino style blades, trainer blades.
Yeah.
I had no clue what the size were. I knew that they were swords, and I went, well, you know what?
Standard size is this.
My arm.
If nobody buys it, I'm going to be the one to use it. So I'm going to make it to my size.
To my specs.
Nice.
Yeah. So everybody says these are too big. It's like not for me.
Hey, let me ask you this, because I also know that something you and I have in common. You're a Trekkie,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, he saw one of my shirts and was like, I like that.
Yes.
Right? Batlex.
Batleths. I'm good.
What do you think? That's
completely
Have you played with the guy?
impractical.
Oh, yes, but it's...
I've had one of the cheap knockoffs of it. I do plan on making one and a mechleth.
Dude, some cool-ass weapons.
Yeah, I know.
I want to make the quote-unquote original Batleth. That if you see the one where Worf and what's her name go and find the original Batleth,
Right?
And it's similar shape, but it's a completely different design. I want to make that because that one actually is somewhat practical.
Ooh, I can't wait to see that.
Let me know when you're there.
Yeah,
Dude, you might have to make two.
Yeah.
well, the Macleth is probably going to come before that. That's the hand blade one.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one thing I've always admired about Star Trek. Is that depending which group you're with, Klingon, Romulans, anybody, they try to cater a weapon that looked practical for that race. Did you ever notice that?
They did.
They're pretty spot on to what.
Yeah, and
spot on the fictional weapons of the fictional characters.
Well, because they base it off the how would this really be? How would this particular race is?
And a lot of their weapons, they kind of took a nod from different historical weapons. If you look at Spock's wedding, that weapon is based off of the monk spade. And a Roman weapon that I can't remember the name of, and they just combined it. And I was like, "Damn, that's cool!" I wouldn't want to deal with that, but yeah. That's what happens when you're a weapons nerd and a Trekkie.
Yeah. Ooh, how do I combine?
What can I make?
But that's and that's what I was saying. I remember you had made a comment about my shirt. I'm like, oh, cool, the Trekkie fan. You know,
Yeah.
he's like,
I love those futuristic. Still get to fight, but we want to be peaceful.
Yeah, we haven't advanced that far. We can travel through space.
what did you think about that race that did it all on computer until Kirk said, "Let me sit down the computers." They did scenario things on a computer.
Oh yeah.
And I thought that was interesting because if they were that kind of a race where they didn't want to do the bloodshed, they just kill people.
Yeah.
Oh, this ray caused this much damage. This many people died, and if your number was up, your number was up.
Yeah. If you were in this area, you're dead. So you got to go report and
Wow.
you disintegrate. Yeah, that was a horrible.
But based on actual thing, that would actually that was a race of people who felt that way. Okay, instead of doing the bloodshed we'll just zap you. And
Right.
Yeah, but taking that to the logical thing, if they got to the point where they were able to wipe out all life in a certain area,
Yeah.
both sides would just launch everything they can
Exactly.
and so all of you were dead. So
Right.
go report and die.
That's from human standard.
Yeah, but that's what made that show so cool.
Yeah.
Because you started to understand, because obviously it was all based on humans being idiots,
Yeah.
right?
Well, the original thing, Roddenberry stated that each of the main races were based off of geopolitical entities. It did evolve by the time it got to the second generation and all that. They kind of shifted, but there was the Russians, there was the
You knew who was who.
yeah, oh yeah, you knew who was who, and it was really neat.
But what a genius mind he had to pull that off. Roddenberry had this really, I saw a documentary where he's talking about, no, we can't do any war stuff. We can't do anything violent. But then the writers were able to sneak it in and call it something else, and it's still playing.
Right.
Yeah. They by the time the second generation came about, the writers had to be very creative, but they got things in there.
Yeah.
But they were true to Roddenberry's ideas. So you got to give nods to both sides on that.
Oh yeah, but they said it was like pulling teeth playing with him. They said Roddenberry was a real pain in the ass to work with.
Yeah. It was his baby.
Yeah, and nobody liked him. The executives, they were all like, but they couldn't do anything about it because he was just such a genius.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely.
This just went
Let me ask
To the Trek.
somewhere. Yeah.
You go to a gazillion seminars on a regular, right?
I try to.
I mean, you go to as many as you can.
Yes.
And you see so many different things.
Yeah.
What is your favorite thing to look at?
Because I've done, and I'm ranked in the jujitsus and so forth, I ignore those.
How funny. I would have thought you said gravitate to that.
No, because I don't want to fall into the trap of, that's not how I would do it, and my way's better.
Which it is, but
I try not to think that way, but it's really easy.
Oh yeah.
We think that way. I would never say it out loud.
Right.
But my way's better.
He does.
But I like watching you guys. I like watching the Filipino guys because there is a little bit of that grappling aspect to it, but it's a completely different world. Even though I've done stick and so forth from different systems, it's so fluid in the Kali, Eskrima, Arnis systems compared to most of the others that I love watching it. And then I will focus in on kind of the esoteric things that can evolve into the bullshit arts. Well, we posted that. Somebody posted a video of Roy. I'm not going to say his last name because I don't want to get anybody upset.
R. His name is R.
Yes. Where he was doing his aikijitsu, and then they had that guy
Flinging
and getting.
That was the first when we went to one of our first gatherings.
That was the first gathering, yeah.
In Sacramento.
Yeah, and somebody was saying, "Oh, that's BS because that's not real." well, what he was demonstrating wasn't meant for the street, for one, but focusing it in on what he's doing is a variation of what we call body harmony. He's trying to take something that was combative, make it non-combative but effective, and that's really hard to do. That's why a lot of Aikido and Aikijitsu guys aren't effective on the street, because doing this it just doesn't work. We want to do this straight line thing, and it doesn't work for Aikijitsu. Where were we going on that?
Well, no, because
but that's what I like, is those type of things, and I also like the pressure point stuff. I'll never commit to learning that this and this and this is long 22, 4, 5, 12. No, this point, and this point. If I hit him pretty close together, he's going to be in a lot of pain.
Right.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I
can't study like that. I know.
Accuracy
I was
is hard.
hitting your numbers on your bob.
Yeah, although those are great spots to hit.
See? I know. So I was like, oh, okay. And how many ways can I hit it? What are the?
Yeah, those are the angles that you want.
Those are the places that I always try to hit Naheed at, and he always.
I've noticed that, actually.
Yeah.
I've watched you.
Yeah.
I'm very. I like hitting targets.
Yes.
And I've gotten really good at I'm fairly good at hitting what I'm trying to hit.
As one martial artist told me, it's not so important what you hit, it's important that what you hit is important.
Right. I get that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right. A little wordy, but okay.
Yes. Oh, I'll allow it. Go ahead.
I don't want to ruin. This
ruin
is pretty. If nobody
costs more, there's blood on it.
How long have you been in this dojo?
In this building, we've been in this one just over a year. I was at my old location for about 2 years. We went from, it was a strip mall type of thing. I went from one unit to another. But when COVID hit, pretty much all my students, except for a few adults, they were gone.
Yeah.
You can't blame them. You want to, but you can't. And my landlord at the time was like, "You got to pay. It's like, I have no money coming in to pay you, and he's like, "Well, then you got to get out." So literally, he said, "You got to get out." I'm like, "Okay." I packed everything up, and then I got a little bit of money from some students and said, "Here to help out," and I got a little bit of that small business loan or whatever, just enough to get in here and creep us till we were allowed to actually open the doors.
What I was, and the reason why I asked is because you're a twofold studio, right? You do the martial arts stuff, but you also make weapons and you sell those. And you're being a vendor. I would have thought it'd been made that easy for you that you could pay the stuff because of those things.
Most of the weapons I sell at events, and I don't like promoting it too much.
Oh, we're going to promote the hell out of it.
Well, I don't like promoting it too much locally because I don't want some street thug coming in and buying one of my knives, even though it's probably out of their price range. But if they do, and then killing somebody for some stupid reason, this is designed to take a life.
Right.
It's also designed to cut tomatoes, but I don't want to have it on my conscience that somebody killed a cop with it, killed a
kid or whatever,
an expecting mother. So I don't promote it too much at a martial arts event. I feel fairly confident that everybody who's there has been vetted to some degree.
Right.
So I do that. I have a website, but unless you have a flashbang website, they don't pay off. And I have to do everything myself. And I'm not a tech head. I'm a trek head, not a tech head.
Well, we know people who can design stuff. And I can actually, if you're interested.
I might be.
I'll reach out to you on that.
Cool. Cool.
We know a couple of guys who owe us favors.
Yeah. Cool.
Why do you make it sound wrong?
I know.
Because
but
it probably is.
It probably is.
Yeah.
I know.
Because it probably is.
It probably is.
Something wrong
But they
with
owe
you.
me, so.
Yeah. I mean, it's true, but still.
It's true, but oh well.
We all have, I've known some people that you called if you had a individual that needed to be removed.
Yeah.
Yes.
We all.
They're called bouncers.
No, I've known some of them too.
I'm saving you.
No, Tony and Vito type of names. They had Italian sounding names. That's all I.
You got to know some people in low places.
Yeah, and we know at the very, very low point.
If you've lived life, you know people at the highest of highs and at the lowest of lows, and I do.
Naia and I have been very fortunate because of the people that we're meeting.
Yeah.
This show has really afforded us.
I've loved watching you guys grow.
Yeah, I mean, look at the people that are coming on the show, and we're just like, holy crap, we would have never thought Malia would have ever come on. We would have never thought Harry Green was going to come on. And we're like, wow,
Yeah.
I mean, we never thought you were going to come on because of the time, place.
Well,
and
I think it was more just, the universe didn't want him
Oh,
to be on.
I swear the universe has been punishing everybody for me taking a vacation.
Oh.
I took my very first vacation last January, and then all of a sudden lockdowns happened once I got back. And it's like, okay, it's my fault.
Everybody, now we know.
Now we know.
Now we know. Now I know who it was.
Where do you go from here? What are you trying to do?
I want to perpetuate... I don't want to say my art. I want to perpetuate my knowledge of the arts. I would love for one of my kids to take it up and roll with it. But I would really love to travel around, selling my wares, meeting new people, maybe teaching a little bit. Some people have asked me to teach cane. I don't teach cane that often. Because I feel there are people out there who know a lot more than I do. I do different stuff.
Yeah.
Not in this area? Or
Oh, there is.
Really?
I'm not gonna name names, and you're not gonna get me to name names.
Okay.
But two of the people who brought the canes to light across the world come from this area.
Wow.
One's from Tahoe, one's from Minden. I know them both. One just casually. One is a good friend of mine and actually taught me